Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be putting some coated material on the bottom of the John boat. You saw in the last videos where I took this boat and I was polishing the sides, and now it's time to paint the bottom. So instead of just going straight with paint, we're going to be putting this coated material, which is basically a thick paint, pretty much. And so it's going to be used to kind of fix some of the cracks and the leaks I have in some joints and some rivets. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to paint over top of it. So today that's what we're going to do. We got the boat prepped and ready to go, so let's get started. All right, so here is the boat all inside and prepped and ready. So we brought it in from the outside there from when I was polishing it, kind of wiped it down, cleaned it all so there's no dust and dirt on it. And then I taped off the seam that's going to be the differentiator between the bottom and the polished sides. So today all we're just going to put the coated on is just kind of this right here. Everything above this line will be black, and so I'm going to make sure that coated covers all these rivets, and this seam right here was leaking through here in a couple of places. We're also going to fix some of this, probably coat all of this center piece right here with the material, so you can see some cracks in it. So we're just going to kind of protect that a little better. It actually didn't leak from there, but you know, better safe than sorry. So we're going to be just coating and doing the same thing on the other side. And so that should be it. We'll get these kind of strips of it painted, and we're not really, you know, doing the whole bottom, but just these little problem areas before we put actual paint on the boat. So let's get started mixing this stuff, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we are. We have the part A epoxy and the part B that it comes with it, and you're going to mix this together to make the epoxy to spread onto the boat. The issue is it comes, if you want to mix it all together, you can just dunk this in there, and it's kind of pre-mixed somewhat, and that would make this whole amount ready to go. And I think you have about 30 minutes to do it, so that's quite a lot. So I've already kind of used this before, so I can't really do that method. But you're going to have to weigh the difference, and there's 7 parts of this part A to 1 part of part B. And it's not by volume. You can't just like pour seven times, you know, by fluid ounces in here. You have to weigh it on a scale, so it's by weight versus volume. So that's a little bit different, so you don't get confused there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. The biggest thing is mixing this part A by itself. I didn't do that the first time and then had some problems, so we're gonna do that this time. I'm gonna mix part A and then make sure that's all well mixed, and then start measuring out the amounts so we can mix the part A and B together. All right, I think I'm going to start on the top here. It's pretty thick, but it's also a little runny at the same time. It's thicker than paint, but let's see if it runs down the side. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just sticks there. I was worried that it would, you know, have these long runs because I want to kind of put it on a decent thickness. And again, this is all going to be covered with the actual paint. So you know, it'll all be like one uniform color when you know, when it's all done. So this is pretty much it. I think if you saw my last video, well, not my previous video on the transom, I put this on the back transom of the boat as well, and I had some pros and cons I was dealing with at the time. I had some issues I had to deal with. But I ended up getting it to work out. It was just the mixing is super key on this, and you have to mix it really well. That first part A material, if you don't do that, then it's too thin. It actually, the color doesn't look right as well. It looks less dark. It's just like a lighter gray color. So anyway. So it kind of paints on, you kind of dab it on. I had to do the, like a rhino liner back in the day on my Wrangler, and it was kind of similar texture. You kind of like dab it on a little bit, and it settles down and evens out on its own. I'll fix some of these drips I got going on too. All right, I'm not sure you can see this on the camera, but I am having some runs, and it's dripping down. Takes it a while. You can't really see it moving, but I guess I'm putting this on too thick, or is this normal? For those that have done this before, let me know, because this is only my second time doing it. So maybe it's just too thick. I assume, and then maybe you have to do 2 coats of it or something. But it's not a big deal because I'm going to paint over it. You're not going to see the difference. But I didn't want it to kind of get this wide. So anyway, if you have any ideas, maybe it's just too thick, I guess. But yeah, let me know. I found this little piece of plastic, and I think I'm going to just scrape it off. Maybe that'll work. And then I'll kind of feather it back out with the brush. Starting to get a little harder now too. Also, I'm not sure when to pull the tape off. I probably think I should, because that epoxy will stick on it and it'll be attached to the boat. So I think I'm going to wait till it's a little bit harder and then rip the tape off. I don't know. We'll see if that works. Okay, so I think I'm done. It looks like I got everything that I need covered. I'm sure there's people out there that'll say that I missed something or I did something wrong. But again, it's the second time doing this, so just showing you guys so you don't make some of the same mistakes I do. Again, so I mixed 21 ounces of part A and what is that? 3 ounces of part B. And then that was enough, and I still have some left over, so that was enough to do this whole boat. It's a 14-foot boat. The rivets and some of the main seams, I may do the whole seam down the middle. I don't know, maybe someone will tell me that's needed. It wasn't leaking out of the middle, so I don't know. I may do it eventually later. But so again, I think I started out with going too thick. I think I was showing you guys kind of dabbing it on. And what happens is it just kind of settles and starts oozing down the side, and it's really not, I don't think you have to put it on that thick after, doing this whole boat. So you could see down the sides, I ended up having to use that card and kind of scrape it and then brush it on to try to get rid of some of the runs. That's the best I could do, I think, for when I put it on kind of thick. You can put it on kind of thick here in the, when there's not a place for it to run down, but on the sides it just wants to run. And then so I used that card and then used a brush to kind of feather it in. And so when I paint it black, it hopefully will cover all this, and also it'll be under the water, so you really won't see it all that much. But again, the difficult part is going to be right here where the tape is, and I'm going to pull that tape, but I don't want to do it just yet. I think I'm going to wait for it to harden a little bit more so I can pull the tape and it be kind of a crisp line. but not too late that the epoxy just holds the tape onto the boat, and not too early where it'll just ooze over the tape line. So that's going to be something I have to keep a watch on. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you sticking around for this one. If you have any comments on what I did here, any things I'm doing wrong, anything I should do again, like treat better or like go down the middle or something like that that you guys are familiar with, let me know. Again, this is I'm new to this, so would appreciate any comments, any constructive comments you have down below. So again, thanks for sticking around this video, and I'll see you on the next one.